Hey, and welcome to Tech Out Loud. This is the week of December 25th, and it's New Year's Eve. So this is a special podcast where we'll recap all that's happened in 2011, the big stories, the big misses, the big fails, and we'll be giving out our big predictions for 2012 going onward. As always, I'm Andrew Jane, joined by
Christopher Walton.
And I'm Alex Weston.
And let's just get to it. 2011, we finally made it last day. So, biggest fail. I guess we could start with AT&T T-Mobile because it's the most recent fail.
It is.
It is. You want to talk about that, Andy, since you're a big T-Mobile fan?
I'm just ecstatic, but I'm just scared for T-Mobile because they need someone to buy them. I'm just glad it's not AT&T. That's all I have to say, really. I mean, that whole drama for 9 months kind of put a toll on T-Mobile. But you know, Verizon has drama too.
Yes, their outages on LTE network, on their LTE network.
And some reports of 3G outages. But Verizon will not step up to the plate and say that those happened.
No, they claim that 3G was functioning perfectly, and it was a backup to the LTE outage, but people experienced the 3G outages anyway, and, well, you're right.
So, do you think this is just kind of like a political stunt to get everybody to look away from their $2 convenience fee?
Oh my gosh. First of all, I want to talk about... Let me go on a quick rant about convenience fees. They don't need to be any convenience fees at all. When Bank of America tried to pull this crap from my checking account and saying, I want to charge you $5 a month for the ability to access the money in your account. That's BS.
No, but it's even worse for Verizon because they're charging you for charging you.
Yeah, they're charging you to pay
online
or by phone so that way you could pay your bill. So let me charge you some money for paying your bill because you have to pay your bill.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
They wanted people to either sign up on auto pay so people don't look at their
When this
bill.
was announced, it was quickly dissolved because the amount of people that flooded through and calls to Verizon, it was just overwhelming, and they obviously knew.
Everybody was like...
Whoever came up with that idea that day was fired.
It was funny because every blog post I saw was like, did you call Verizon, make them print out that 50-page statement, and then mail it to you every time you get a bill now? It'll cost them a lot more than $2 to mail all that out.
I mean, and like I've seen on like ABC News, like they've done like reports like of people's phone bills. Like there's charges if people really don't look to their phone bills. Like there's a lot of charges on people's phones, like on their bills that they don't even know what those charges are about. They just pay them. And so this is like an upfront charge, just saying, "Hey, we're paying you $2 for the ability of having to pay your bill," which is automatically gonna people. All right, let's say $2 over every time you pay your bill, which is once every 12 months.
Well, let's say
I would pay the at that point I would save up my money and pay the out of contract price just to dissolve my contract with Verizon and move to a different company who doesn't have a stupid $2 a month charge.
Yeah, $2 a month for, let's say a contract's 24 months, so that's $48 extra per person per line.
Is it $2 per person?
I don't know. Is it $2 per person or $2 per account?
That's a good question. I would think it'd be
I'm looking it up now.
I think it's per account. Because only one person's paying the bill for the account.
Right, not individually. Now, they're probably just preying on people who won't realize that they're being charged the extra $2.
Yeah.
This is just like when Verizon started opting people in to collect data from them without, by default, opting them in. They gave an off switch, but they said, oh, we're going to start collecting data from you.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. So, fail Verizon, fail. And then...
I mean, obviously Verizon should have known, taken a note from Bank of America when, Bank of America was going to announce they're going to pay $5.
These are big companies. They just want to make money.
Yeah, but to know that a Bank of America, when that kind of type of movement, and all the other banks behind that were like, oh, yeah, let's start doing $5 too. And then the credit unions were like, yeah, come to us because, we don't charge anything. That was automatically drawing a line in the sand saying, hey, you're going to lose people no matter what. So Verizon, you did a good idea, and look what happened, by just canceling it. First of all,
it's interesting you mentioned losing people because you know who lost a lot of customers this week? GoDaddy.
Yes.
Yeah.
They lost a lot of customers. We don't host our domain on GoDaddy, do we? Okay, good.
I don't even think we have a domain for this podcast.
No, but whoever we
I use for my podcast. I mean, for my personal website, I use 101.
Okay, But like the people who host our website, do they use GoDaddy to host their domain?
No.
Okay.
I know Revision 3 and like a lot of the podcasts on from Revision 3, like all the video podcasts, a big sponsor of them is GoDaddy because they buy all their domains from them. Even
I think they're gonna transfer soon.
Yeah.
I'm transferring to Hover
And why should people leave from GoDaddy?
because like they supported SOPA. That's the end of the story. They supported a bill that breaks the very foundation of the internet, and people got angry and they boycotted GoDaddy. And it was so great that people left that GoDaddy had to say and retract their statement and say they don't support SOPA anymore. But at this point, it's too late.
Yeah. I mean, what's done is done. I don't think people are going to leave. If you still offer a fair price and a discount, I mean, I don't think whatever you support, I mean, it's like Kanye West when, he goes on rants and says stupid stuff.
But
Do I really
good music.
do I care about what he does? No. As long as he produces good music, I'm going to buy that. When he stops producing good music and just starts spewing out complete random
I'm gonna
crap
let you finish,
and facts,
though, Chris. But
I'm just not gonna buy anything. So
okay, well, the opponents of SOPA are so far Disqus, which is that commenting system.
I hate SOPA. We know who.
It's basically every company that has any business online. Disqus, AOL, eBay, Facebook, Foursquare, Google, Grooveshark, Kickstarter, Mozilla, PayPal, Wikipedia, Reddit, Square, Huffington Post, Craigslist, LinkedIn, OpenDSN, DNS, Tumblr, Twitter, Yahoo, and Zynga.
Yeah, and probably more to come later in the year.
And those are just the big names. And then what's interesting is, though, Apple, Microsoft, Adobe, and Intel, Electronic Arts, Sony, and Nintendo withdrew their support. They haven't done what GoDaddy said and say we don't support anymore, but for the fact that they went from Go SOPA to we don't want to get into this anymore, I think that's really, really cool of them. It's funny though, Sony Electronics withdrew their application, but Sony Music and Sony Video and the film Sony still supports
I don't think
it.
Sony has that much. I mean, good press. I mean, they lost. This is the year where they've lost all their information to hackers.
That's true.
I mean, the PlayStation Network. They've obviously signed up with SOPA. They have products that can't be trusted. The whole Sony brand itself has been kind of tainted this year, and I don't think anybody's.
I think PSN got tainted, not Sony itself.
I mean, Sony itself owns PlayStation.
I know, but
but Sony has the money to hire. Yeah, but Sony still has the money to hire people to maintain their servers and passwords. When you have all that consumer data just sitting there and it was just lost, and you're just going to try to, have a $5, gift card to come back to us.
And to make it worse, they were attacked in October again. Yeah. It wasn't as big. So basically, Sony's name...
If you could be attacked twice with a big name like Sony...
I remember that month when the PSN went down, they got hacked in Greece, they got hacked in Japan. Yeah. It's just one after another.
It's just
horrible for them. And then Sony.
It's probably the only time you'll ever hear me say, "Go Microsoft, get Xbox."
Oh, and then another fail, RIM. Do we want to talk about how they failed this whole... Reality finally caught them up with them this year, I think.
RIM. I did like that BlackBerry commercial where they have all the neon painted...
I don't think any commercial is going to save them.
The bicycles? I just kind of wanted a neon bicycle.
BlackBerry did that?
Yeah, they did. Where they all spray painted their bicycles, like all road bikes, and they all met up, and it was a BlackBerry commercial. It was I thought it was a well shot commercial, but other than that, I'm still not going to buy a BlackBerry.
Yeah.
Unless I work for the government and they mandatory give me a BlackBerry, then I'm probably going to learn how to love a BlackBerry. But other than that,
but even the mandatory government, you probably carry on your iPhone as a secondary device.
Yeah, everyone carries on a secondary device if you work for a government and they all give you a BlackBerry.
Okay, and then what other company dissolved this year?
HP partially with WebOS.
Yeah, WebOS and HP. That was sad. Sad.
I mean, it had potential. I mean, when the Palm Pre came out, that was a beautiful phone. I thought.
I love the OS. I didn't like the hardware.
No, yeah, that's mainly where I was going for OS. I mean, the phone itself felt kind of like a Samsung Glide, one of the big phones back in the day where you just push up and have the big buttons on it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But WebOS was very promising, and then we lost a huge player. Now that HP open sourced it, now we'll see Chinese WebOS phones instead of Chinese Android phones. Mm-hmm. We'll see iPads running WebOS from China now.
Yeah.
If
you want to go down to the Apple news, I mean, this was big Apple news this year too.
Yeah,
we've had from the death of Steve Jobs and him stepping down. I mean, that's very big in the Apple community.
And then
we also have the great iPhone 5 that was supposedly supposed to happen. I mean, we got a fifth iPhone, but it wasn't the fifth
It
iPhone
didn't
everyone
embody
had.
the fifth one that everybody wanted.
No.
Right.
It didn't embody the thinner design.
But if you look at where they've been going, iPhone
yeah,
1,
we should have
iPhone
expected.
2,
And then the 3GS.
3GS, and then 4S. I mean, it's only inevitable that the fifth phone will be a way better phone,
and
it'll be a 5S
yeah.
or some sort. And then so,
But do you think they can keep at that rate?
I think without a doubt.
Really?
I think so.
Because by the time the 5S will come out, if it looks exactly like the 5, we'll have octa-core phones by then.
I don't know. I mean, they're trying to push 3D in phones. I mean,
no, they failed. 3D. I think this was the year that 3D they realized
3D
failed.
this year in 2011 was overhyped. It was
Yes.
overplayed.
Between movies,
All
phones,
of us.
There was only 3 phones that came out with 3D this year, and they all failed.
All of us know here in this podcast we wear glasses, and to have to put on another pair of glasses
Yeah.
on top of your glasses is completely asinine and ridiculous.
Nintendo 3DS, though.
I went to the Boeing factory, and they have goggles with glasses. Like, if you have glasses, they have a goggles with glasses model. There's 2 buckets.
They have a prescription lens.
No, not prescription. It's like the goggles that are a little bigger for people with glasses,
Mhm.
and then the goggles for people without glasses. They have it with glasses.
So they don't get in the way.
Yeah.
You just put them right over it.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes more sense.
And I'm like, finally, engineering companies get this. Why don't the music? Why don't the film industry get
yeah,
this?
like every other movie that came out, or every movie that had a sequel was like pushing. Also
3D,
in 3D,
IMAX.
Harry Potter 3D.
I don't want to see Harry Potter in 3D.
Really?
What other movies were overplayed? Fright Night 3D. I'm just spitballing from the top of my head of what. I did see Musketeers in 3D as like my first 3D movie because I didn't see Avatar because I thought Avatar, anything James Cameron did was completely ridiculous. Like the Avatar concept, it was nothing new. It was pretty much
Pocahontas on Smurfs.
yeah. Not even that. It was just another story of the white man taking over someone else's land.
Oh Jesus. Okay, let's stop this now before we get into racist comments.
It's not compared to your rants of cursing of a
Talking
storm.
about-
I think my comments are pretty
Hey,
self-secure.
at least cursing will come someday. To these little ears.
Oh no!
Whatever happened to Flip? I still have my.
Did it
Flip.
die this year?
Cisco.
That's, or was
Yeah,
that-
Flip died.
wow.
Flip
Cisco
died.
killed it.
I miss my Flip. I still use it. I use it as a microphone.
They still sell them, I think, in some places,
Really?
like for $59.
Yeah, they're trying to get rid of all the stock, but they're not. It's sad.
They're
that
solid
manufacturing
cameras.
stuff.
I think they're solid cameras if you just want to point and shoot, 1080p.
Yeah, it was like just kind of you saw something interesting. You took it out of your pocket, just
and the
shot it.
audio was, excellent too.
Yeah, it recorded in stereo.
I mean, you use it, so
just because I use it doesn't mean it's awesome.
well, it's
Yeah.
better than what you have in your TV.
Also, this
Yeah,
year,
that's true.
I think LTE went mainstream, and it kind of went like.
Definitely.
You want to talk about saturated? I mean, let's talk about 4G phones. My air quotes.
4G.
4G.
OG.
I mean, it's just this whole HSPA plus, HSPA, LTE.
WiMAX.
Why, man?
To explain to people to the normal consumer, like, oh, I bought a 4G phone. Did you really buy a 4G phone? Let's break it down. You have HSPA. That's not really 4G. You have LTE. To me, is true 4G.
Well, even LTE wasn't supposed to be 4G. Like, yes, it's getting there, but LTE was. But the Thunderbolt, first 4G phone, I felt bad because I recommended that phone to a couple of my friends and they all got it. And now, either they have an extended battery or they take their charger with them everywhere. I feel bad.
Hmm.
But they didn't want the iPhone, and there was really no other phone I could recommend at that time. So I
Let's see.
felt
We another big miss of 2011. I mean, I know Netflix and Quickster. This
You mean
was-
the lack of Quickster?
Yeah. Or the Netflix stupidity from going back and forth. It seemed like the CEO of Netflix didn't really want to be the CEO at all.
Well,
Like,
exactly. He claimed he never wanted to be CEO. He's an engineer at heart. He just wants to make things. He doesn't want to.
at that point, you step down and let the board do something.
Well, can the board actually do something?
I mean, compared to like switching the name back and forth and then dissolving the other company that you're going to start up.
Well, I'm glad they
alongside.
dissolved Quickster. What if they dissolved Netflix? That would have been awful.
Oh man, I don't know. I want to. This also leads into my prediction because I want to have a prediction. I have predictions of Netflix and what they'll be, but I don't know if you want to share that.
Netflix will be?
Well, I mean, my prediction for Netflix is going to be that they're either going to get bought out by somebody because they
Really?
have to get for Netflix to be the competitor it is now. You're going to need more content instead of old TV shows and documentaries. It's not cutting it anymore. The
I love
$8 a
documentary
month
content.
fee that I'm getting that I'm paying Netflix to stream tons of TV shows that I've already watched because I've watched new shows and I've already been a fan of that show. You're not really pushing anything new out that I can go on Hulu or YouTube or on these standard show websites like Fox or CBS or TNT. And Netflix has to get bought by somebody, so that way if they get bought by like Verizon,
I don't think Verizon needs anymore. They want to
have they're trying to release a Netflix competitor. Verizon or Amazon.
I think Amazon would buy Netflix.
Amazon has deep enough pockets to buy Netflix, and also with those deep pockets that Netflix has,
they can incorporate that in Amazon Prime. That's a win-win. I don't want to pay for Amazon Prime and Netflix together. Paying one price.
You merge that, plus you also Amazon with all the money they have, you can do new license deals and get more content than what Netflix can pay for itself. Because the reason why Netflix has such limited quantity is because they don't have enough money to make deals with these, Universal and Paramount and say, hey,
but
how's
Netflix
this
will?
money?
I mean, do you think Amazon will? Because their Prime selection's not that great either.
Yeah.
But this is why they would acquire it.
Right.
Because Amazon,
but then what's
Verizon,
Amazon now from doing
Netflix hasn't decided to.
I mean, if they decide to sell, I mean, you have to offer. I mean, Netflix is a great platform. Whoever buys it, you have a great item there. You just have to learn how to utilize it. And by utilizing it, you need to have money for Netflix. Because the movie companies, they don't want to give away, stuff like that. They still want people to come to physical theater. Like, theater ticket sales were down this year. And they're probably going to say, all the old theater folks are like, it's because of piracy. It's not because of piracy. It's because people don't have, $10 to spend per person in their family. They take their kids to buy, these extra.
It comes out on DVD and then Redbox it.
And a lot of these movies now are pushing their movie for 3D, and they don't give a 2D option. And so a lot of parents can't take their kids to go see a 3D movie because they don't have enough money because you have to pay an additional price for the 3D glasses.
Mm-hmm.
There's no option to opt out for 3D glasses because
can you bring your own 3D glasses?
No, they'll make you buy another pair.
Like if you just snuck one in and then you pay for like a 2D movie, but then
you still be cheating the system.
Yeah, but could you do that?
You can do that. I mean, I've done that, but you still theoretically you'd be stealing.
Theoretically, yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. So I mean, but we've seen how expensive like a movie ticket is for 3D. That's why. People are waiting for these movies to come home. They'll run them for $4 on Amazon or Apple TV, or they'll pay on their on-demand services with their cable providers.
Right, and look at Dish Network and Blockbuster.
Yeah.
They've already done that, and you can just rent a movie literally on your receiver for $3.99 or $2.99.
Yeah, why would I pay $8 or $8 or $9 per person? And for all that money for my kids with glasses and gimmicks and stuff like that, or in popcorn, where I get to spend $4 and then I can go to Costco and buy a bulk of popcorn, or get a $10 pizza for a large and have it with the family and only spend $12. You still be coming out ahead.
So
and the movie theater, they when you go to the movies now, they have these this commercial where I'll have this huge action movie and they'll start to shrink the movie to the point of an average person's maybe a 26 or 28 inch TV, and it's movies should never be viewed like this. Go big or go home. People now are buying. The TVs are getting so cheap. People are buying massive TVs. So
are you buying a new TV?
I mean, I'm happy with the one I have in my.
How big is yours right now?
I think I have a 28 in my room,
okay.
And I have my mom has this wall unit that it's in the main living room, and I mean I really hate that wall unit. But it houses our TV, and the biggest TV you can get. It's about a 30-inch TV in that wall unit.
I'm waiting for OLED TVs to take off before I buy my own TV. Because I still share my 50-inch with my family.
I would have picked up that Sharp that was on sale for Best Buy during the Thanksgiving. What was it, 60, was it 50-inch or 60-inch?
How much?
The Sharp TV that was $199?
The Black Friday one.
Oh, I wish. Because I have a 32-inch LED in my room. But I'm really looking for one in our living room.
Okay, this is the TV I want. I want OLED, and I want a flat bezel.
That sounds expensive right now.
Yeah.
No, fine. If not OLED, I want a flat bezel. Like this. I don't want the bezel sticking out from the TV. I want a flushed bezel.
Well, I think Samsung and LG have already done
LG
that.
does some beautiful TVs.
Yeah, LG does amazing TVs, which is very strange. Because Samsung is usually the one with the best screens.
I think LG does, their whole, I think it was their Scarlet series TVs. Those are beautiful.
I want Super AMOLED TV. I'm waiting for the day Super AMOLED Plus TVs come out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think they're definitely changing, and they're a lot more accessible because now a lot of these TVs are coming with Netflix and Amazon built in.
Let me ask you this: do you think Eric Schmidt, CEO of Google, he predicted in 2012 will be the year of Google TV, where every smart TV will come out on a Google TV platform?
He was a complete fool to think about that. Like he only thought about the first 6 months. He didn't think about the whole year and like how.
No, he's saying 2012.
Oh, 2012?
Coming 2012.
I mean, look how good Google TV is. Logitech said they let their CEO go, who made a deal with Google, and they also said that they will never, and quoted, ever do a Google deal again. Because with them, I don't think Google TV itself will be integrated in everything. I think Netflix, Amazon Prime, or just regular Amazon Video will be.
Nobody uses Google Plus.
No one uses Google. There's no Google.
Hulu.
Yeah, Hulu Plus. Yeah, that's about it. Those three options, those three companies will be built into TVs. I know that for a fact. I think that's my projection for 2012.
No Twitter, no Facebook.
They have those
in
TVs, but really, you could just pick up your laptop or go on your computer if you really need that. Even with Netflix, with the Xbox having Netflix, Hulu Plus, they have
the
Zune.
Xbox is becoming the central media hub that Microsoft wants to be.
I'm applauding Microsoft for the amount of content they're putting in that Xbox.
The only product that doesn't have the Windows name in it is successful. I mean, all their products are successful-ish, but the one that only has good thoughts about it is the one that does not have the Windows branding on it. I think Microsoft needs in 2012 to get away from that. Like, they need to stop naming everything Windows. That's, like I said again in this podcast, naming the phone Windows Phone really hurt it.
If you don't enable it Windows, a lot of people don't know that phone is made by Microsoft.
Well, they could just say Microsoft.
That's like taking away Apple and just saying, here's a MacBook Pro.
But you know what a MacBook is, and you know what a MacBook Pro is.
But you know the company behind it.
Yeah, but
if you took away Windows Phone and just say, here is Phone 7.
Well, obviously they want to call Phone 7. They call it something else, but...
Or they would just have the Lumia 7 or something like that.
The Lumia would be a great name. This is our Lumia series.
And you'd be like, who makes the Lumia series? Nokia or somebody like that. I don't know. You're just thinking... I think the main reason why Windows holds on to their name is because of it's just recognition.
The Vista series or something.
Oh God!
Yeah, when you think of Windows, you think of Windows for your computer, Microsoft Office. I think that's what the basic people think is just I have Microsoft Word and PowerPoint. All that
was fine for Windows Mobile when it was only geared towards government and business users. But now with Windows Phone, you have Xbox and you have Zune and you have all these media consumption and integration in it. And calling Windows will just make them think of Office and business. They need to break out of that mold.
Yeah, I mean, you think of BlackBerry, you don't think it's a leisure phone. You think that's just a government phone. You think of Android. You think of that's a little bit out there company.
So, what do you think BlackBerry will happen to BlackBerry in 2012? 2012 is going to be the year that BlackBerry 10 is going to come out. Their whole refresh on the platform. They're going to come out with new phones, new specs. Do you think it's too late?
My prediction right now, I'm calling it for phones. I'm going to say iPhone, as much as I love Apple, is going to take a backseat to Windows.
You think Windows Phone will actually improve next year?
Yeah, because I think the Android brand, there's so many Android phones out there. The brand
is very diluted at this point.
It's so much, and there's all the malware and type of being able to... People want a phone that they get that is going to be constantly supported with updates. They don't want to buy a phone that Bionic. Yes, that's
because every Android. It depends really who you talk to. Because yes, people we talk to,
Nokia
want
Samsung.
Updates.
I'm not Nokia, Samsung and HTC. They're all well, we have to correspond with Google to see what.
Let's talk about that a bit. Another fail this year where Samsung said that their Galaxy S line, which was their biggest seller of last year that brought Android to Europe, is not the Samsung Galaxy S was what the Droid was to America, to Europe.
Yeah.
It was that big moment for Android, and they said it's not going to get the latest update.
Yeah.
That was crap.
But that's the thing. That's why I buy an iPhone, because I know if I buy a relatively new iPhone, the new one like the 4 or the 4S,
Yeah, you'll still
I
get
know
iOS 6.
I'll get in 2 years with the 4, well maybe the 4 and the 4S, I still will get constantly updated and support for that phone.
You'll probably get iOS 6.
Yeah.
So
Compared to if I bought like an Android, like if I bought like a MyTouch, am I gonna get gingerbread down the line?
Actually, the My Touch did get
honeycomb?
gingerbread.
But look how long it took to roll
very
out these updates to all these phones. That's when it comes down to it. People don't want a phone that's like all the way like they'll buy a
That's
new
if
phone.
they know. Like, yeah, people we know they care about updates, but like my aunt, she has the Samsung Galaxy S.
Well,
She doesn't know what gingerbread is. She doesn't know what honeycomb
but they
is.
know it's like,
Oreo.
hey, I need a new update because my phone is glitching all the time, and that's because of the software it's running now. And the next software update won't be till
Well, if
whenever.
it's fine and they don't notice it, do you still think they need the upgrade?
I think people know because people always upgrade their their antivirus and all their software updates to their computer, and I think people know that there's phone updates as well.
But there's also all those people who are still on IE6 that Microsoft had to put their foot down. They're like,
Yeah,
we're
because
forcing the update.
Because
on IE6 now.
IE6, I mean IE comes preloaded with
No, but they never
Microsoft
updated.
computers.
Like the
Exactly,
option is-
because it just comes preloaded. If we preloaded every person's computer with Chrome,
but Google pushes Chrome updates on you.
yes. Does IE push updates on them? No, it'll let you run the same crappy browser that it has.
Look at Apple iTunes.
Yeah.
Every other day. 10.5.2, 10.5.3.
Yeah.
I don't even know what these updates do.
But if you read it, it just says,
Support
bug
some new
fixes or
devices,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Some fix or
But, at least that's that thing that device is getting. But to go back to previous to my, like, what my view is, I think Windows 7 is going to overtake iPhone.
I don't think it's gonna.
It just in I think
in
sales
market share, you think?
and market share, because people are tired of these new and Bionic. There's the Razer. There's the Galaxy Nexus. What do I buy?
Yeah, I read this
What do
article.
I buy?
It was like someone asked me, "It's like, what phones do you like?" I'm like, I like phones with cool names. Like, what is an Atrix? And why is a Samsung so captivating?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. You get an iPhone 4 or 4S. You get a Windows 7
Yeah, you get-
phone, like a I don't know what the Windows 7 phone brand that'd be.
The point of Windows Phone 7 is like,
But
it's a mix,
It's easy. It's user friendly.
and it's consistent.
And it's consistent. That's the same thing with the iPhone. So Windows 7, that's my prediction. Windows Phone 7 is going to be at first. iPhone, Android. What else is there?
What's the other one?
I think BlackBerry is going to be like dead last.
There's Symbian,
Symbian.
but Symbian's dropping like a fly right now.
No, I'm not talking about major companies. So you have Apple, Windows.
I don't agree. I don't
BlackBerry.
disagree with you that Windows Phone 7 will make a huge turnaround.
Because everything
but-
takes over someone else eventually. Everyone has a better year than someone else.
Yeah. So
this could be the year of Windows.
yeah, I
Especially with the Nokia series, the Lumia series coming to America.
yeah. Once finally that gets to America, hopefully that.
This could be it. So, Andy, what do you think? What do you think is going to be on top and phone wise?
I still think Android will hold its top position going to 2012.
Still surprised.
Not in mindshare, like you said, by volume they will hold the sales number.
Oh yeah, because I could push out a crappy Android phone. Like
Exactly, they'll hold volume in 2012, and then the
that.
iPhone
Volume aside, just on pure, like
mindshare.
yeah.
Okay, I think this will be the year that at CES Nokia will push their marketing in America, so people will finally begin to understand what Windows Phone is.
I
so
think
like you
Nokia
said,
is going to come back to might be on top, like it was when it was like the brick phone. Everyone had the Nokia brick phone. We might see the next wave of when everyone has the Nokia smartphone.
because when you say Nokia, it brings you back like nostalgic memories. Like
Yeah.
everybody remembers their old Nokia brick phone.
And what do hipsters love? Nostalgia.
That ringtone.
Oh, and then Nokia is renowned for their battery life. In the Lumia series, you can get a day and a half or more with a smartphone, and that's unheard of in Android land. You can get that with iPhone, but in Android land,
Yeah, so that's why I'm still thinking. I'm surprised you wouldn't put Windows over
just
mine.
because, like again, no, Android will continue to push out volumes, so they'll continue.
If they could push out volumes, but after a while, people are gonna be like, that volume is a piece of crap.
Exactly, but people will still buy it because again, the consumer is uninformed. Apple will still be trudging along, taking success away from RIM because they're going to be leeching off of RIM's failure. And then I really do like as it stands right now, it's in 2011 closing. Number 1's Android, number 2 is Apple, then RIM, then Symbian, and then Windows Phone. Windows Phone's dead last right now,
Mhm.
but since Symbian and RIM are falling, I think Microsoft will take number 3 by
Mhm.
next year.
Mhm.
It'll take them a while to get up to the volume as Android and iPhone, but they will get there.
What do you think, Alex?
I agree with that. RIM and Symbian are going to fall out of the lead.
What's going to be the top 3 though?
It's going to be Apple, Microsoft,
And Google,
And-
the big titans are just dishing it out.
maybe.
Do you think Google will continue? Do you think Google will actually this year finally grow a pair? And
If Google like full-heartedly put their heart and soul into not the Windows, their phones, and just dropped all the other crap that's out there, like Bionic, HTC, this, Resound, this, and just did the whole Apple mantra, which is put out their
Nexus line is
exclusive.
for.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just do
Their own
that.
phones, their
Get
own
rid of
phones.
everything else that they have and just do strictly Nexus phones.
They can't do that because that goes against their open policy.
No, but like, look at the Nexus brand, the Nexus S, the Nexus One. Those were good phones.
Yeah,
and they were
great
all
phones.
produced by Google.
Well, Google
Full-
finds a hardware partner who produces the
Yeah,
phone.
well, but pure Google
Yeah,
was
they're
on
pure
that phone.
Google.
Mhm.
That's what people. I think you take that and have pure Google all the time. None of these little crappy, phones with like
TouchWiz.
Google and TouchWiz or Motorola Blur
or Sense.
oh my god, it's just and you just did pure Google, pure iPhone, and pure Windows. I would say
Yeah, Windows Phone time is always pure no matter what.
yeah. So I would say definitely I would go Windows, iPhone, Google. If Google was just pure.
So that's how. So you making that list is how these companies will grow. You think that Windows Phone will grow the most in 2012?
Yes, and also the fact that every phone, every brand has a better year than Apple's always they'll be on top. I mean, depends if let me take it back also by going and saying if Apple releases the iPhone 5 and the iPhone 5 is to the point where it's so groundbreaking from the 4,
But what can they really do that makes it so groundbreaking? from the
bigger
four?
screen,
Bigger screen. Okay, that's
4G LTE.
LTE.
Okay, LTE.
I don't think
dual
they'll do 3D. I think
They're not gonna
they're not going to do 3D.
A6.
But it have to be dual core.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it's not quad core.
Maybe quad. If it's quad core, I could see that quad core. And the video card has to be
Finally, a 12 megapixel camera.
Yeah.
Finally, a phone to report. I hope that the next iPhone really does rival-
streaming video capabilities of 1080p.
What
Like
phone
you
will-
can record, like you can shoot a movie with the iPhone, let's say the iPhone 5,
Uh-huh.
and stream it to AirPlay
Well,
while
you can-
shooting it.
While shooting it.
Yeah,
What device can do that now?
None.
Exactly,
None.
because it's too much processing power.
exactly. That's why iPhone 5 has to be something groundbreaking.
That's like live shooting.
Live streaming.
That I don't think they would do that because they have to bow down to the carriers. The carriers.
It
will
doesn't
hate
matter.
that.
Carriers will love that
Carriers
because people
will
are going to be
hate
going
that.
over their cap limits and they're going to be paying the extra caps.
But they'll also be putting stress on their networks when people will complain.
And then it'll also force carriers to start bumping up these
An
caps.
upgrade.
I don't see that happening though.
Because of the iPhone when it came out to AT&T, that's the reason why they put a cap is because of the iPhone.
Yeah.
You think about all the videos and all the streaming that people were doing to their iPhone. AT&T's the reason why they're like, oh, we're gonna put a cap out, and then next thing you know, they came out with FaceTime, and they're like, oh shit. That's what it came down to.
But then they had to bow down to carriers and saying that only works over Wi-Fi. I can see them doing that
Still-
whole streaming if it
Yeah.
was only over Wi-Fi.
But I think they'll give you the data option as well for people who have
Did they
grandfather.
Ever did they ever give you the data option for?
No, but
FaceTime?
Skype does. If you have it on an iPhone, it says, "Hey, you're going to be on data. You might want to switch to Wi-Fi." But they give you the option to just go and run with data.
Oh, again with Skype. Now that Microsoft bought Skype, I expect Microsoft to rebuild that the client because the client's awful.
No, we're getting away from the talk. Let's just
No, I'm just
focus
saying,
on.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, let's focus on straight iPhone 5. If
But-
iPhone 5
But
comes out,
FaceTime hasn't got 3G yet.
FaceTime has to improve.
No,
That's for a fact.
Yeah, you know what? FaceTime needs to fulfill the promise that Apple promised way back when it released. Apple promised that FaceTime APIs would be open source so that anybody could make a FaceTime app. Like Android could use
I think
FaceTime
maybe
With an
with
iPhone.
Maybe that's with a 5. 5 like what C5 is going to have to improve everything that iPhone 4 and 4S. It would have improved Siri, improved camera, maybe streaming capabilities. FaceTime will get a rehaul. Everything would have to be upgraded. Bigger screen,
CPU power.
CPU, processor.
Do you think they're gonna get rid of the home button?
No.
Really?
No.
They might make it.
And make it all gesture based?
No.
They might make it.
But they'll definitely. I think they'll definitely multitasking, multi-touch features.
Like gestures.
Gestures, like on the iPad, that will definitely come to the iPhone with
That'd
5.
be kind of awkward though on a tiny screen.
Well,
No,
that's why
the 5 would be.
But even on a 4.3 inch screen, I can imagine going like close app, open app.
It'd be like 2 fingers then. You take away the 3.
2 fingers.
Or at most 3.
At most 3.
I mean, 'cause how many gestures do they have? Is it just
Because you have like the bear claw. I call it the bear claw because you strike
the
down.
iPad, they have 5 finger gestures.
Yeah, you would limit the gestures down to what the screen size is available.
Like even on your MacBook Pro right now, you have a 5 finger.
Because we all know a 5 is coming, and Steve Jobs was like the last one. He was
the 5 was the last part.
Last one to work on. So this one is gonna have to blow people away.
Or people
people who are gonna get the 5 are people who have the 4, and people who are on Android and stuff like that. And the question is, like, when that 5 comes out, who's it going to be exclusive to? Is it going to be everyone's going to be on it?
Oh, everybody's going to get it. Oh, and that's another thing. I think Apple will finally, if they do make this 5, like you said, if they add a 6th radio, maybe that's going to be the groundbreaking. Maybe they will be the first one to have a hex band radio that will work on every single American carrier.
Yeah.
If they do that, I will be so impressed.
See, the thing about the other iPhones, like besides the S's, they always improve and there's something different. And this could be iPhone 5. If iPhone 5 comes out to be the point where it's so groundbreaking, I would say I would put Apple back on number 1, Windows number 2, and Android at 3.
Your disdain for Android is showing.
No, but I mean, Android's had its time, and you're not really impressing me. You have the great Google phones, Nexus series, hands down. I would pick up a Nexus phone and start using it right now. But everything else they're pushing out that has the Android backing is just complete crap. We should be giving me props for saying, putting Windows as number 1 or 2.
I give you props for that. I just don't see it realistic. Like, they will definitely be the one that grows the most. Their acceleration going to 2012 will be the highest, but their velocity won't be. Physics.
But if the iPhone 5 is going to come out. It's definitely going to come out, but it's only a matter of time to say when in 2012. Do you think it's going to come in the summer, where they usually have had their iPhones and they're going to get back on track, or they're going to leave it and start coming out to the releases where they do their iPod update revamps in September?
Well, let's see. It'd be very. I think they're going to go back to the summer. They have to. They were super late this year. I don't imagine them being late again.
It was just something that.
And I think they're going to come out with the white and black one at the same time this year.
Yeah.
They came out the white and black 4S at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
But do you think 5 is going to be groundbreaking?
Well, that's the thing.
It's definitely going to be groundbreaking.
It's going to be groundbreaking in iPhone terms, right?
It's definitely going to be a jump from the 4S.
Well, yeah. Like, the thing is, iOS 5 was groundbreaking in terms of iPhone. Like, Android users have had those features forever, but in terms of in the iPhone world, those were groundbreaking.
Maps. Because Apple has been acquiring a lot of companies that are doing 3D map simulation.
Have offline navigation?
Probably. I think maybe not even that, by turn-by-turn navigation.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. Offline turn-by-turn. Because I have that with my phone.
And to go back to what you said about streaming capabilities and how the carriers don't like that, think about Siri and how much data that pulls.
Not that much.
It pulls a lot.
No, people done tests with Siri and it barely pulls 500 kilobytes per day.
If you're using Siri constantly,
per day, constantly they were using Siri
for 30 days, and then also have everything else, your location, your video, streaming, everything going at the same time. The average user, not just having Siri, but I'm saying Netflix. You're doing YouTube, you're doing Mail, Facebook, social networking.
By using
and
Siri alone, you use about 20 megabytes per month if you're an avid Siri user.
But you could see that just going and building up so fast.
20 megabytes is about 1/10 my data, so that would take me 10 months to fill 200 megabytes. That's if you're a hardcore Siri user. I'm pretty sure people don't use Siri.
I think
as much
5 is going to be heavily Siri based.
Is she going to come up with all the snarky comments too?
I don't know. I think iPhone 5 is where we're going to see either Siri stays, Siri improves,
3 die.
Can she finally get out of beta?
I think it'll definitely be out of beta. Maybe out of 5, if only for the 5.
Okay.
Because the next iPhone always has a feature that you can't get with the other iPhone. 4 had, the better video quality, the FaceTime camera than the 3GS.
Yeah, 4 had FaceTime.
So now we go to 4S. You had Siri. What is the 5 going to have that's so compelling that's going to leave users from the 4? You have to think about that. And I think when we start seeing that...
Well, they could do a lot of background things, too, like they did with iCloud. They don't have to be totally forefront, but they could do a lot of background stuff.
Another thing, iCloud came out this year. Great. I think that's great. Having the ability to set up your iTunes, your iPod Touch, your iPhone, or whatever out of the box over the air and never had to be connected to the computer again. It was due, but it was one of the things that's improved. And also that I love about iCloud is I always back up my things once a week. And if I ever lost my phone on my all my information on my phone, my backlight went on my phone, I could just grab another iPhone, type in my iCloud, and everything and every app that I had in the same spot will re-download.
Yeah, like SkyDrive for Windows Phone.
Okay, but
except SkyDrive gives you 25 gigs free.
What do you get for iCloud? It's 5.
Just 5.
Just 5. I mean, do really people use more than 5?
I use a lot, and then now SkyDrive next year's unlimited photos and unlimited documents, not counting towards your 25.
I think iCloud would definitely improve next year as well.
They would have to compete with that. Microsoft's just giving storage for free.
Apple's not really looking to compete with Microsoft. They're just looking to give people a little bit more leeway and stop complaining.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and then also, since we're on iPhone, we'll switch to iPad. Are we thinking about... We're definitely going to get iPad on time this year. iPad 3. I think it's just going to have a better camera, faster processor, maybe quad-core.
Maybe a new...
I think it's probably going to be quad-core.
Yeah, it might be quad-core. It has to be quad-core.
I don't know.
The Transformer Prime is quad-core now. If it doesn't come up with quad-core...
It's probably going to be quad-core. It's going to have a better camera, front-facing camera, and a back.
It's not going to have a better front-facing camera because there's not really much you need.
I mean, you have to kind of sell the phone, the feature of the tablets. I think the camera quality is definitely going to improve.
Because there can't really be any new redesign with the iPad.
Yeah.
So
the iPad's going to stay the same. It's just going to be quad-core, better camera, maybe iOS 6?
No, it's not going to come
Then
out
iOS 6. I think 6 would probably take another year.
Yeah, 6 would take the end.
If anything, that would be an update. So,
like when the iPad 1 came out, it came out with OS 3 when OS 3 has been out for a while.
Siri will definitely be on iPad 3.
Okay.
It would be heavily used.
Okay.
With quad-core, better camera. Let's see.
Do you think it's going to have the Retina display?
Yes.
Do you think they're going to double the resolution on the
Yes.
iPad? That's a large take to tell.
That's fine. I mean, you still want iPad is the number one tablet. I think still selling, and they keep it enticing.
To double that would be super expensive. Do you think Apple will still be able to make their profit margins?
Well, it's going to be like the high price. I think if they still, even if it's still expensive, they can still sell it, and it's not going to be nowhere near like the Motorola Xoom or the Cyborg ever will be at price.
If they make a Retina display and double the resolution, that I can see them doing that, but I can't see them keeping $500.
Yeah, I still can see them.
I can't see them keeping $500 with a Retina display.
I mean, look at the iPhone; it has a Retina display.
Yeah, but that's on a small scale. It's easier to push more pixels in a tiny field.
And the tablet size of the iPad is not going to change at all.
We don't have Retina displays for our laptops. What makes you think that we can have it for tablets?
Because it's something different. And then I think Retina display for a tablet is a lot cheaper than producing a Retina display for a laptop screen.
They're about the same at this point.
Is the iPad screen a solid 10 inches?
Yeah, but it has a lower resolution than most laptops.
Yeah, so you're improving their resolution. I think it's going to have a Retina display. I think it's going to have quad-core. I think Siri is going to be heavily used in the iPad. That's 3 things that are going to be coming to the iPad 3.
Right.
I think if they just push quad-core. Obviously, they're going to push quad-core, and then they're going to push Infinity Blade 3.
Yeah. And I think also they're going to have to, if this comes out, they're going to have, they always have their versions, the 16, 18 gigabit. I think they're going to have their versions of the new iPad 3. They're going to bump down the iPad 2 to almost maybe $199.
I don't think they're at that point where they can. We're not at that point we can sell that cheap. I could see $399 or $299, but not $199.
I could see maybe 250.
250.
250.
Still kind of low.
250.
That's way too low.
Between
still.
250 to 299. You're getting it. You're surpassing the Kindle Fire, and you're surpassing the Nook tablet, and you're surpassing the Motorola Zyborg. You're surpassing all tablets with the iPad 2 at that entry price. $299, $300 to get into the tablet game of iPad.
I don't see them doing that with the iPad 2, but I can see them doing that with the iPad 1. The iPad 2...
The iPad 1 don't even sell that anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing. I could see them doing that with the iPad 1, but the way they engineered the iPad 2, I can't see them selling it cheap.
I could see them do the iPad 2 because no one's gonna when iPad 2 came out, iPad 1 was gone. They're not even selling anymore. They just iPad 1 sales they dropped the price really really cheap. People got onto it and they were gone just to push out sales. I think iPad 2 is gonna stick around at a low price for people to get in low entry.
Yeah, but they're not going to keep the iPad 2 low entry.
I think they'll keep it at a low
Really?
price because if you look at if you're gonna get a netbook or you're gonna get something netbook, the low cost of the high cost but low cost of computer, the MacBook Air. Look at the Air. I mean, how much is the Air running? Like $1,000?
The 11-inch starts at $1,000, yeah.
Yeah. So you're getting the capabilities of the Air and everything without a keyboard for $299. That's not bad.
I still want a real operating system to do real work on it, though.
I mean, but think about it. People who have been yearning for a good tablet, a solid
Windows
tablet.
8. I think 2012 will be the year of Windows 8.
But tablet ready, they're not going to be anywhere near for to take on Apple.
Why won't they be able to take on Apple? You have full
Because it's too late in the game.
Why is it
It's too late in the game.
Why is it too late?
Because of Apple's substantial lead they had.
But they have a huge differentiator.
It's too late.
You have a full
You're going to have to
OS.
reintroduce a whole new operating system to people, a whole new platform, and people don't have the time to learn
No,
that.
not a
They
whole
know
new
the simplicity
platform.
of the iPad.
Not a whole new platform because it runs on x86.
People know that there's Android tablets and there's going to be Windows tablets, and it's going to be the same thing like the phone market. They're going to be, it's going to be back and forth. But in the tablet market, this is how it's
But
going
the
to go.
difference with a Windows tablet is a
It
full
doesn't matter.
operating system.
It
Yes,
does.
it does. You cannot tell me that you would not be able to run Photoshop on an iPad.
No one's going to run. Are they worried about Photoshop?
I've seen a lot of people who pick up an iPad
Are
if it ran
people
Photoshop.
complaining about Photoshop?
Yes,
on
they
Photoshop?
are.
What
They're-
people? What
people-
people?
you know-
Average consumers, Andy, are not
I'm
yearning for a
talking about
Photoshop.
average consumer. I'm talking about people who need to actually do work but don't want
Yes,
to carry on a
then
laptop.
you're going to obviously get a laptop, though. That's the thing.
But why would I? If I can get a Windows 8 tablet without this, I would totally
Then those
get
people are
it.
going to get a Windows tablet. But that's not going to turn away the average consumer to go get a Windows tablet. Those people who just want to be able to do a little bit more are probably going to go get it. If not, they're going to suck it up and carry the laptop. Your laptop's not going to carry. I mean, it's not that heavy.
The way
It's not
when
that
Windows
heavy.
8 comes out, trust me, mark my words. I'll eat my words if I'm wrong.
I will put a bet on it.
Okay, how much?
$10.
I'll hold the money.
$10 because obviously it's going to be recorded. $10 that Windows 8 when it comes out next year when we do our next year podcast, God willing, it's still going. But next year that's going, it will not even touch Apple.
Well, not starting out. Well,
Oh my God! See, because it's not. I'm just saying, willing to do from the year from 2012 the whole year through. Windows 8 sales of the tablet, it's not even going to affect anywhere standings of what Apple's been doing.
Okay, I'll hold you to that $10.
$10. Mark that down, Alex.
I got that.
$10 because the average consumer knows that hey, iPad is a great tablet
But the average consumer is also buying the Kindle Fire.
because it's a cheaper alternative.
Yeah.
Now, if there's a cheaper iPad, people are going to jump
But
on that.
Apple's not going to do cheaper iPad.
We don't know what Apple's going to do.
I don't think they're going to do a cheaper iPad.
That's our job. I think is to just predict. And I think Apple's going to come out with a cheaper iPad. Alex, what do you think?
I'm really in the middle ground. I don't see Apple really. I see them discounting the price, obviously, because of an iPad 3. But I don't see them going down too low as to $199.
I mean, it's already Apple. It's hard to believe that you don't see Apple doing a cheaper tablet. But Apple gives away their 3GS for free with a 2-year contract. Apple gives away a $99 iPhone 4 with a contract, 2-year contract. You don't believe that Apple is going to drop, to an iPad down for $299
No, I do not believe that's totally.
They
On
already dropped their phone prices, and I think they're ready to drop their iPad prices.
But the production cost of an iPad isn't that low yet.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
It's
Apple
low.
is
It's
a
just,
company
this is
that
a
is in
low
love
end.
with their profit margin.
This is a low end, but yeah, they're still earnings take away people that are thinking about other tablets.
No, like
It's gonna be listen. It's gonna be from the $299 to $350. It's gonna be way cheaper than a lot of tablets are, and I don't even know. And that's just my opinion. It's definitely gonna be a low cost tablet. They're gonna bump down their 2 and still keep it.
they're gonna have to totally.
They
nerf
still
their
keep
2
their
just to make it
3GS phone, and they're giving it away for free.
which I think is a mistake, but whatever.
Okay, but they're giving it away for free, and Apple's okay with that.
And they've done that between the 2 generations.
Yeah, and Apple's giving away $99 for an iPhone 4. So to me, I don't have any reason to believe why Apple would not do a cheaper iPad.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see. Come March, we'll see.
All right, March, $10.
No, we're
Well,
betting
I
on Windows 8.
Oh, that's on Windows 8. Okay.
That's gonna
Right.
somewhat.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't believe. Maybe it'll take backseat. It's gonna have to take maybe 2 or 3 years.
But what if?
iPad came out.
But
what?
look at the market share of Windows 7.
iPad came out this year, right? Yes, 2011. No, 2010.
The first iPad?
First iPad came out 2010.
Last year, yeah.
2010, 2011,
2012.
2012. iPad's already had 2 years in the market right now to be number one.
But then
And
you
you're
can upgrade
thinking-
all
you're
Windows.
thinking-
You can upgrade all Windows 7.
You
devices
think
to
Windows is gonna
When
come
was Windows
just
7
gonna come
released?
into the tablet market and take over a 2-year dominant lead?
That's what Apple did with the iPhone, didn't it? It just came in and took over a 5-year dominant smartphone, BlackBerry, and Windows Mobile world. Why can't that happen for any other company?
It's just hard to believe from Microsoft. You're really gonna have to push something.
I really do believe Windows 8 will
Windows
change.
phones, Windows 7 was supposed to be the takeaway from the iPhone competitor. Has it? No, it's taken backseat to Android,
But it does is leeching
and
off
it's
of RIM.
taken backseat Android to Symbian, and it's on the bottom level.
Technically, every company is taking backseat to Symbian. Symbian is just falling.
What you see and Windows right now on the phone market is where they're going to be if they introduce a tablet.
They don't have. See, this is the beauty of it. Windows 8 doesn't need to introduce something new. It's upgradable from Windows 7.
Okay, but is there a Windows 7 tablet out now?
There's hundreds of Windows 7 tablets.
that is remotely close to taking over the iPad.
No, because it's
Exactly.
Windows 7.
I don't think you put a Windows 8 on it, it's going to be any
Have you
different.
played with Windows 8?
No, but I can.
Exactly.
but
so
no,
your conversation is mute.
No,
your
I-
argument is mute.
No, it's not. I can honestly tell you, if Windows 7 tablet sales are not, doing anything to deter people from their Android or the iPad, then Windows 8 is not going to do anything different.
Except for a real blade operating system for people who
Okay.
really want to get work done.
That's fine. You can do work done, but it's not going to take away sales.
We'll see. We'll see.
It's not going to take away sales. Bottom line is, you can be able to do. I could be able to build a house and render a 3D image on a Windows phone, or in a Windows tablet. But is it going to take away from sales from this, this dominating lead in Android and iPhone? No. It's just for those people who want to be able to say, I could do that.
No, it's for people who actually want to do work.
Okay. What are people doing on iPads?
Playing Angry Birds and Fruit Ninja.
That's irrelevant. iPad.
How is that irrelevant?
It's irrelevant because what you're saying. Because iPad is now in airplanes as a manual. You think Windows is ever going to get to the point where they have, hey, we're going to give you Windows phones as manuals for something? No. iPad is on a manual. iPad is in a hospital with defibrillators. There's different kinds of apps for that. There's different kinds of medical uses. That's where iPad is. It's in the mainstream where people are doing work. Where's Windows at?
CE.
With tablets.
CE.
With tablets.
CE. Every ATM machine you ever touched. Every embedded system you ever touched.
Okay, ATM machine. What else?
Every embedded system.
Tablet-wise, where is the Windows 7 tablet-wise doing work?
McDonald's.
Okay. See, what do you think, Alex? Did I win that one?
Well, I really don't want to get in the middle of it, but I really think that iPad right now in this market is the one that's doing most of the work.
It's doing the work. For
Now-
these people that are claiming that want to do work, It may not be doing enough what they want to do, then carry a laptop. If you don't want to carry a laptop, then go to a Windows tablet.
We will see what Windows 8 brings next year.
We'll see that at CES. Because with CES, I think we'll see a lot of Windows 8 tablets.
We'll see. But
Yeah.
I'm just mark my calendar. Can't wait to get my $10.
Okay,
All right,
December,
next topic.
December
buy myself a
31st
coffee.
of 2012. Wow, if coffee costs $10 in 2012,
Hey, it
that's gonna
costs. The only people ever thought it cost $5.
It cost me $5. I'm going to Starbucks after this. It's
Yeah,
going to cost me
so-
$5.06.
Oh my god. Okay, cool down.
I love our passionately heated rants.
I love how we're able to get angry at each other and become best friends right after. I still love you, Chris.
It's all good.
Okay. Anyway, so but that's our predictions for 2012. Is there anything else, or do you want to just wrap it up? Because it's kind of getting late, and we should probably start heading out and spend time with family and friends. And whoever's listening to this, I think you should probably join.
And not listen to this until tomorrow.
Let's see. I think the only thing I want to talk about is gaming systems. We've had the Xbox, the PS3, and the Wii since we were in middle school, which is, I think since 7th grade they came out.
8th grade.
I think it was 7th grade. 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, freshman year of college. So about 7 years we've had the same system.
Yeah. I mean,
From going to the old standard where it used to be every 4 years you get a new system. Are we gonna in 2012? Are we going to see new Xbox, new PS3,
Not
new
this
Wii?
year.
I mean, the Wii U is coming
U.
out, but that's not gonna. I mean, if you look at what people rushed to get the Wii because it was different, and it has
Yeah, the
motion
Wii-
gaming and everything. And I think motion has kind of been played out,
no.
and because people want graphics when it comes down to it, and
Really?
content. What kind of content is on the Wii? Can you get Hulu, Netflix? I mean, you can get Netflix on the Wii, that's for sure.
With
so-
the Wii U,
the Wii didn't even play DVDs.
that
hacked it,
was
yes.
If you hacked it, but still,
my Wii plays
why
DVDs.
does the cheapest gaming system not play DVDs?
Because the cheapest game system was for bowling.
Yeah, but you could still go get like a $50 DVD player and to play DVDs, and it's cheaper than the Wii.
But you can't play bowling on
Yeah,
the
but I have to.
Wii.
But if I spend $250, I should be able to play games and watch DVDs. The PlayStation 2 played DVDs,
That's true. That's very true.
and the
I think
Xbox.
that was a mistake. On
Did the
Nintendo's
Xbox play
part.
DVDs?
It's still a mistake.
No, I don't think the Xbox played.
The first
DVDs.
Xbox played DVDs.
No. But
Yeah, the PS2 did. So I mean, I think if Sony launches a new gaming system next year, because they're pushing out, I'm still surprised that they're pushing out handheld gaming. I thought
The Vita?
Yeah.
Yeah, what-
do you think handheld gaming's dead now that we have
The
these
problem
high
with the Vita
price?
is I'm really impressed by the Vita. I'm impressed by its performance, but there's not enough differentiation between the Vita and a smartphone. Yes, you can push out a lot. This is great for hardcore gamers, but I don't know if that's big enough mark anymore because most hardcore gamers have migrated to consoles.
Vita
Mhm.
or 3DS?
I still get 3DS because 3DS has more appeal to me. I can play Ocarina of Time on it.
But if I can just keep downloading games from the Vita and not have to have physical disc anymore,
The problem with the Vita is you have expensive proprietary memory, and then it's region locked depending on your PlayStation account. Like the device itself is not region locked, but if you have an American account, you can only play American games.
it's funny. I was going through my desk the other day and I found my 512 megabytes I got from my PSP when the first one came out,
Oh,
and
geez.
that was like $80.
Yeah, I paid
Like
8.
7 years ago, that 512 megabytes was like $80 for an SD card. Now
Not
you
even SD. It's Sony's
Yeah.
stupid proprietary.
for their SD card, it was just another micro. It was a micro SD. No, it was just regular.
No,
SD.
it was a Magic Memory Stick. That was Sony's.
Well, they had a memory stick duo, but you could fit like any other kind of memory stick in there as well.
No, it was only Sony's proprietary
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Especially their cameras too. I don't get that.
But now,
Not anymore.
but
Not
still,
anymore.
SD cards were pretty expensive back then.
Yeah,
7
now
years
they're
ago.
dirt cheap.
Now you can get like $8 to get you 4 gigs.
Less than that, actually, if you get it on a good deal.
You can probably get 8 gigs for
$4.
Yeah, $4.
30. I'm still waiting for SDXC.
I'm still waiting for like a terabyte thumb drive.
They do have that.
That's
The-
cheap.
Not cheap.
Like
but-
like I'm gonna say
like
I'll pay $100.
the new generation of micro SD cards, the SD8XC.
Mhm.
Potentially, it can scale up to 2 terabytes in the size of a micro SD card.
Hmm.
How much is that going to cost? Probably
A
a
lot
lot.
of money.
But
I
Now,
don't know. I
do you
think to go back to gaming. I know you guys are. I know Andy only does PC. Do you do PC as well, or you
Yeah.
really don't have time for it?
I really don't have time.
I only played Skyrim because I was on a lot of international flights.
So
Yeah, he had the time.
Yeah, I mean, I use my Xbox for everything, and if Xbox comes out with a different device that's that's a little bit more upgraded and faster and quieter and has way more integrations with media devices with Netflix,
I
Hulu,
think
Amazon. If they added Amazon Video, that'd be pretty cool.
This is my prediction. Sony and Nintendo continue to duke it out, but then I think Microsoft is gonna not upfront compete with Sony and Nintendo. I think that they'll compete with Apple's new TV because they're setting up the Xbox to be the media hub, and Apple 2012 will definitely have to release a new media hub.
You think Apple's gonna release a TV, and like not an Apple TV, like a media device? I'm talking about a physical TV.
That's very hard to believe from Apple because Apple likes to upgrade everything every year, but people don't upgrade TVs every year.
No, I think this would be people don't upgrade their Apple TV devices every year either.
But they only have two. They've only been 2 years.
This would be the same thing with their TVs.
But if they upgrade, but if they continue with the box, like if they have at least a third-gen Apple TV box, and it's better. If it actually runs iOS apps and can AirPlay with all your iOS devices, I see that.
I think if the Apple TV comes out and have a good carrier for screen size, and they integrate everything that the Apple TV has, and integrate AirPlay, integrate iCloud, integrate a whole bunch of stuff, I think why not? I think I could see that being a successful TV, way better than Google TV ever will.
Yeah, Google TV. Okay, yeah, Google TV. It's It's the three titans duking it out in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Google's trying to claw its way into the TV market. Microsoft will set up the Xbox to take that role, and then Apple has to come up with something new.
I think Apple's going to do what to the tablet game, like with Windows tried to do, like try to release a tablet ahead of its time. People weren't really on board with it. And then here comes Apple with the iPad, and people are like, wow, I really like this. Now you take that transition and do it to the Google TV, and people are like, Google TV, that's not really all that.
It's too far ahead.
It's too far ahead. But if Apple did it and pushed it out, I think people would be behind it because they know Apple's,
They wait for polish.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Apple has had their time to wait. They've seen Google TV. They've seen, they had the Apple TV platform. I don't see why. I think, Mark, Apple will come out with a TV. If not a TV, there will be a revamp of the Apple TV digital media platform.
Okay. Well, we're running really late, and we should probably get because the sun's going down. So, this has been great. 12 weeks, guys. Love you guys.
We've had, 12 episodes?
12 episodes. 12 weeks.
12 weeks.
3 months.
2012. Right? 12, 12, 12.
Coming up. We'll be here next. We'll be here again next week, starting off the fresh new year. And CES is in 2 weeks. As always, you can get in contact with us on Twitter. I'm at Andangit, ANDDANGIT. Chris Rollins at Chris Rollins, capital C, capital W. Alex at Alex Weston. Instead of an O, it's a 0. And if you always want to reach us, we're at Tech Out Loud Podcast on Twitter. And then on Facebook, we're also at Tech Out Loud.
And on YouTube.
And on YouTube, we have at TOL Podcast, where these will all be archived. And
maybe 2012 might be the year where we start doing some video streams.
Well, hopefully, if the world ends, I don't have to pay Chris $10. But
I'll be right.
What was
Stay
that?
with us for the next year.
Yeah, keep up with it. Thanks for all our fans, and even though we have 9, we're super proud of you guys. 9, thanks so much.
Thanks. Thank you for all the support.
Yeah, and let's hope that 2012 will be a great year for us. As always, I'm Andrew Jang signing off with
Christopher Walton.
And I'm Alex West.
have a great new year, guys, and enjoy friends and family.